Hello, boys and girls. So glad you can join us today. Are you ready for our Bible lesson? Today, we're going to talk about having a servant's heart. In the New Testament, the word servant was compared to someone who was absolutely devoted to Jesus. To have a servant heart means you want to genuinely help someone and have a passion to serve others. Jesus didn't just talk about being a servant, he was a servant. Let's take a closer look. Open your Bible to John chapter 13, and we're going to read some verses, but we're going to start in verse number 4. Let's see what the Bible has to say today. In verse number 4, it says, "So he," speaking of Jesus, "got up from the meal, took off his outer clothing, wrapped a towel around his waist. After that, he poured water into a basin," just like that, "and he began to wash his disciples' feet, drying them with the towel he had wrapped around him." In our story, Jesus washes his disciples' feet. He knew he was going to die on the cross soon and wanted to serve his friends. He wanted to serve those who devoted their time to him. Let's keep reading and see how one of his disciples felt about that. So continuing in verse number 6, it says, "He came to Simon Peter, who said to him, 'Lord, are you going to wash my feet?' Jesus replied, 'You do not realize now what I am doing, but later you will understand.' 'No,' Peter said, 'you shall never wash my feet.' Jesus answered him, 'Unless I wash you, you have no part with me.' 'Then, Lord,' Simon Peter replied, 'not just my feet, but my hands and my head as well.' At first, Peter was like, 'Hold on, Lord, you are not going to wash my feet.' It might have felt a little strange to Peter. Maybe Peter was thinking, 'I've been walking around in these sandals all day. My feet are dirty and stinky. I haven't clipped my toenails in 2 weeks.' Who knows? Maybe Peter was just embarrassed. He did not want Jesus to wash his feet. But Jesus said, 'If I don't wash your feet, Peter, you have no part of me.' Peter was like, 'Well, in that case, don't just wash my feet, wash my hands, wash my head. I want it all.' Peter was ready to do the ice bucket challenge. He said, 'Soak me, Lord.' And the Lord said, 'I appreciate your enthusiasm, Peter, but none of that is necessary.' Now let's jump down to verse number 13 and keep reading in our story. Still Jesus speaking here, he says, 'You call me teacher and Lord, and rightly so, for that is what I am. Now that I, your teacher and Lord, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet. I have set you an example that you should do as I have done for you. Verily, truly, I say, no servant is greater than his master, nor is a messenger greater than the one who sent him. Now that you know these things, you will be blessed if you do them.' You see, Jesus was their teacher and their leader. He did what seemed like a gross job of washing feet, but he was making a very important point. Jesus showed us how to serve. He wasn't just talking about serving. Jesus wants us to know that there's no job too gross that someone can't serve another person. No one is greater than the next person, and there is no task too important that you can't do. When we serve others, we reflect the heart of Jesus. The Bible even says that when you give somebody a cup of water, there is a reward for you in heaven. There are blessings in store for you when you serve others. I hope you all enjoyed this lesson. It was great to be with you again this week. And let's find a way to better serve around our home, to our families, whether that's throwing out the trash or setting up the dinner table before your meal, or just cleaning up your room without your parents telling you to do it. There are a lot of different ways that we can be helpful to others. Catch you later. Bye-bye.